Hi, I'm Joe Peppard. Throughout my career, I have been interested in how organizations can leverage technology for both operational and strategic purposes. I also have a keen interest in how best to set up and manage investments that organizations make in tech to increase the likelihood of delivering expected business outcomes. We know from research and practice that this is far from easy. Statistics show that a high percentage of IT investments struggle to achieve the expectations set in the business case, with a significant number failing outright. The impetus for the research reported in this article was encountering reports over the years of problematic IT replatforming programs, where the board of directors was heavily criticized for not understanding the complexity of the program and its underlying risks, and for providing inadequate fiduciary oversight. As researchers and experienced board directors, Blaize and I took these reports of failure as a challenge and a research opportunity. Moreover, there is a general absence of guidance for boards to help them better govern technology. Replatforming incorporates several possibilities, but is essentially the process of modernizing an existing IT application or system. This might include migrating to the cloud or a new physical data center, or perhaps building and implementing an upgraded version of old systems and applications. Examples of such applications include core banking systems, an insurer's claims management application, or a manufacturing company's ERP system.
Hello, my name is Reich. As someone who's been on corporate boards, industry boards, and not-for-profit boards for the last 25 years, I witnessed firsthand the struggles that board directors face when governing large, risky transformational initiatives. My latest two engagements were with financial services companies who had been working for 2 years to get replatforming and failed. I joined them as they were restarting and replanning, and I learned a lot of important lessons about resilience and success. In this article, we acknowledge that boards do many things to ward off failure. For example, they add digital savvy directors, they update governance practices, and they hire advisors. However, in the 3 cases that form the foundation for this article, these companies did all of those things. They shored up their governance practices and they hired consultants. However, their initiatives failed.
Our research followed a 3-stage process. The first stage was to investigate replatforming programs that had failed and were extensively reported in the public domain. Careful examination of reports and other evidence, including interview transcripts and recordings from investigations, led us to identify 7 blind spots that clouded the vision of these well-meaning and well-resourced boards. The second stage was to examine any recommendations proposed by investigators, auditors, and regulators, and to combine these with published research and our own experience to develop our recommendations to illuminate these blind spots. The third stage focused on validating our findings and recommendations, particularly our recommendation about developing a common mental model of the program. Since this latter concept had not been recommended previously, we asked 16 board members to opine on the mental model and accompanying questions. We incorporated their feedback into the article.
From reports, interviews, and newspaper articles, we were able to identify 7 blind spots that are connected to failures in replatforming programs. Some of these blind spots, for example, misplaced optimism and asymmetry of information, are common issues, but they're exacerbated in technology initiatives because of the deep structure of technology is different from what boards are used to, and they have their own language. Boards are often overly focused on the technology part of this initiative. They don't fully appreciate that a new platform in an organization will impact every person that works in the organization, plus the companies that rely on it as customers or suppliers. So by calling it a name like the Salesforce project or the Workday project, they miss the importance of governing change management issues that the organization will face. After identifying these blind spots, we use the advice from published reports, existing research, and our own experience to develop 4 recommendations which we really hope will provide boards with a more comprehensive understanding of replatforming initiatives and a resilient governance framework.
Our first recommendation calls on boards to develop a shared mental model of the replatforming initiative. Unlike a physical building, when a technology investment is proposed, progressing, and has been built, there will be nothing to actually see. Each director will likely have their own picture or mental model in their head, and these are likely to differ across a board. Measuring progress is difficult without an agreement on the key elements and risks in the program. This model should be developed by the board working with the organization's leadership team and advisors to identify all the relevant components of the replatforming initiative. The mental model we propose includes early considerations such as expected business outcomes, organizational readiness, existing and planned technology and data, and migration approach, and extends past the go-live date to include benefit realization. In the article, we propose a visual picture and structure for this mental model, as well as identifying key elements. We also suggest questions that probe each element of the mental model. We recommend that the board pose these questions to their leadership team as the progress proceeds and seek answers to them. Once a mental model is in place and the board understands the complexity and risks of the proposed replatforming program, recommendation 2 suggests that they assess the readiness of the organization to embark on such an initiative. The management team may be very keen to start this long-awaited modernization of their technology platforms, but the program may not be set up for success.
Both Joe and I have been at board meetings in which the report from management and the report from advisors disagree. And that really makes it difficult for boards. They have to interpolate progress reports from two parties that are using different metrics. Our strong recommendation 3 is that advisors, board, and management agree on a set of metrics, and these metrics need to be created for each element of the shared mental model. Recommendation 4 is to focus on benefits and pivot when necessary. At the outset of a replatforming initiative, the board and management need to agree on where the value will be created. Therefore, every decision about changing scope, budget, or timeline needs to be measured against this expectation of value. If a proposal for additional resources results in the business case not being solid, then the board can instruct management to slow the project down, de-scope it, or stop it altogether. Many replatforming programs go through 2 or 3 iterations before they're successful. By keeping a close eye on benefit realization, boards can minimize the waste of financial and human resources.
We invite you to read the article. As many replatforming programs would outlast the tenure of a leadership team, the board needs to help set and protect the funding designated to pay down technical debt, tracking the progress of the investment, and ensure that the expected business outcomes are achieved. We offer our insights and recommendations in the hope that boards will have a comprehensive understanding of replatforming initiatives and will be able to confidently govern them from the time they are being considered to the eventual attainment of benefits.